Hey folks, The Legend of Zelda is in a strange place at the moment in terms of the community's thoughts and feelings on the state of Zelda games, specifically taking aim at the latest installment, Tears of the Kingdom. Most of us absolutely adore the game. It's fantastic, and there is not much debate there. However, there is a bit of a divide when it comes to the game lore, storytelling, and all of that. I'll state now that I am very much somebody who is absolutely happy with the lore, storytelling, and all that fun stuff. I'm not bothered that we don't have all the answers. I don't care that the storytelling isn't done in a very specifically demanded way. I'm happy with how this game is. That is not to say anybody who feels differently is invalid. By all means, feel how you feel. It just isn't a big deal to me, and I struggle to fully understand why it is for so many people, for various reasons which we'll definitely get into real soon. I just want to preface this video by saying everything I am about to say and go into is all just my opinion, and I want to respectfully share it, as well as let out some thoughts and questions regarding a lot of the feelings in the community at the moment. I'll be honest, I've seen quite a few creators talking about their thoughts, and I just want to make a little rambling video with mine. So I come in peace, and bring snacks, so let's talk. Be sure to go and grab yourself a wee snack and or drink, and let's have a big old talk about The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and beyond. Well, as negative things grab more attention, let's start there. It shouldn't be that way, but that's just how it is. So let's start with what I feel is actually wrong with the game. For me personally, I don't have many issues with the lore, storytelling, and how it's all presented. The biggest problem, so to say, I don't know if I'd even call it one, is how repetitive and empty in terms of content both the depths and Sky Islands feel. Being many months past release now, I can say I honestly feel like the strongest part of the maps is actually the Kingdom of Hyrule. The not new map. So yeah, that says a lot. I think the Sky Islands are awesome, cool and beautiful, but beyond the Great Sky Island and a few exceptions, the rest just feel way too similar without much to set them apart, not even just themed differently based on the region they're above, or having different puzzles. This isn't a big deal for me, but worth mentioning. The depths are also a bit like this, a few exceptional parts, but the rest, and I mean the rest, literally are all very much the same. At the same time, these places are still really cool visually. I don't know, it's not the biggest deal, but it's just a little annoying, especially given how much the Sky Islands were marketed. But hey, these sunsets and sunrises will never get old. I think for many people, it's hard to keep the same levels of interest and intrigue when using the same world again, but changed up. What they did change up was awesome, but on its own, as in if the depths and Sky Islands didn't exist, it just wouldn't be enough. So you add two new maps parallel to the original. You'd expect these to be your big hitters in terms of content. Well, they were certainly big, but not necessarily full. This also plays into the lore problems for many, as there just isn't really much to dive into in terms of theories and lore when it comes to the copy and pasted areas, beyond the few exceptions. In the previous game Breath of the Wild, there was just so much new content. Obviously, it was a brand new game, and the brand new parts of this game just aren't as fleshed out as they could be. Outside of that problem, I personally don't really have any heavy criticisms. I absolutely love the dungeons. Sure, there are things to work on, but that's okay. They're only the second attempt at full 3D open world dungeons in Zelda games, and they're already a massive improvement on the first attempt. The music improved and developed naturally as well, if you ask me. I love how it feels the same but a little more developed, much like the recovering world we're playing in. And the new mechanics. Oh, mwah. Top tier. Chef kiss. This feels like a good place to segue into the things that I genuinely feel are top tier about the game. A little rambling gush about what I really love in this game. Let's get right back into those mechanics. Oh mate, they are just so damn good. Making random things with Ultra Hand and all of the Zonai devices, mixed in with the random elements from the world, is just so much fun. I can't say that I'm one of those super talented builders who can make robots and functioning ships, but hey, I can make whatever this is. And I love it. I love making cars, planes, ships, Korok launchers, and the endless possibilities that come with Ultra Hand. It aids in the game in so many different ways, whether it's casually messing around or having a very important part in progressing through the story. It really adds an awesome sandbox element to the game, without making it feel forced or as if you have to do it. I'm also a really big fan of Ascend. Going into the game, I felt this would be my least used, or more so least favoured new ability, but it's actually my favourite. Maybe joint with Ultra Hand. I don't know, I kinda go between the two. I just really love being able to quickly pass through ceilings and get around in a new way. It's especially fun when you use it directly below a mountain such as the Dueling Peaks, and it takes a solid minute to ascend to the top. The first time I did this, I thought my game was gonna crash, but I made it. Recall and Fuse are also a bunch of fun. I don't have as much to say about them other than they're solid and enjoyable mechanics. Moving on from the mechanics, as I don't want to ramble too much, the dungeons are also something I found an absolute joy to play through. I found them to be a massive improvement from Breath of the Wild's take on dungeons. Sure, they're not absolutely perfect, and I didn't think they would be, but for a second attempt on 3D open world dungeons, they were bloody class, I can't lie. The atmosphere and build-up was just so on point, especially the Wind Temple. The climb up that harsh, snowy tornado was just so peak. The way the music built up as you got further and further up, the fear of falling and losing your progress had me on edge, and I love being on edge in these situations. It really made it feel like a challenge. Funny enough, I got fairly far up on my own before even realising you're supposed to do this with Tulin. Some may call it stupid, I call it being a pro gamer who doesn't need Tulin. Well, I actually love Tulin, but you know what I mean. The dungeon itself was fairly simple in terms of puzzles, and very easy in terms of enemies, which is something I'd really like to see improved, but outside of that, it's pretty fun to explore the dungeon and its theme. Oh, but then there's the boss. Colgera was a wild ride. The burst of danger at the beginning, the fact we're at a disadvantage in the air with it, and once again, the music. Mwah! Chef kiss. Honestly, I could gush about the Wind Temple all day, but I do want to give fair credit to the others. Except for the Water Temple. Look, it's a good dungeon at base value. My problem is that it doesn't really feel like a water dungeon to me. It feels more like a sky dungeon with some water. The better choice for a water dungeon for me personally would have been the Ancient Zora Waterworks. I'd still have the whole climb up to this island, but personally I'd have made that the key to entering the waterworks. So the other way round from how it actually is. But it's still fun. The Fire Temple was also awesome. A little bit easy to cheat by climbing, but still really fun. The location for it was top tier as well, as the lore and theories that come with that. Lost Gordonia. My theorist senses are tingling with excitement. Minoru's dungeon is also pretty cool. Very different as it's more of a journey to the dungeon, as the dungeon, but the whole experience of fixing up our robot body thing and traversing the depths is awesome. But who can forget my favourite? Possibly joint favourite with the Wind Temple. The Lightning Temple. It's so cool. Indiana Jones vibes galore for starters, but also everything leading up to it. Fighting Gibdo alongside Gerudo warriors, figuring out the ancient puzzle to reveal the temple, and then trying to enter, but being sucked into battle off the bat. It's just so good. Then figuring out all the neat mirror-focused puzzles inside, it's just so classic Zelda dungeon, and I think that's why I love the Lightning Temple the most. It feels like the best mix of classic traditional Zelda dungeon and modern open world Zelda dungeon. It's a very good step in the right direction. It's just so good, and all round I'm very happy with how these dungeons turned out. Like I said, yeah, there are things to improve on, but I don't doubt that Nintendo will improve them in their next big Zelda game. Okay, so another thing I absolutely adore about Tears of the Kingdom, and hang on to your seats lore nitpickers and well actually tweeters, I adore the story. Big shock, I know. Somebody loving the story. How dare I? Okay, dramatic's over. I really do love the story of this game. The format? Not as much, but that's just more because it's a copy from how Breath of the Wild presented things with memories, but it's not a huge deal. But the story as a whole is so amazing. I love it. I really do. From start to finish, it was one hell of a ride. The opening, my god. I think this might be my favourite opening out of every single Zelda game. It's at least right up there with Twilight Princess, which I know is commonly seen as long and tedious, but Twilight Princess is my love. It's the perfect way to transition from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, not focusing too much on what happened before and getting right into what's happening now. It's such a chaotic opening with Zelda falling to her and Link being rescued by Nintendo's latest Dilf character. Learning about the Great Sky Island and roughly what was going on was so emotional, so emotionally spectacular. Man, I cried. I cried a lot at this game. Sometimes at the smallest of things, other times at the biggest of things. Ripperoni Sonya. But hello, Angry Raru. Sorry folks. Anyway, the story in both the past and present are so gripping and always had me eager to learn the next part. Like I said, I wasn't huge on the format, but the story itself is a banger. Oh, and who can forget the most insane plot twist ever? Spoiler alert, despite the fact we're in December and the game dropped in May. Learning that Princess Zelda is the Light Dragon was so crazy. Like, you could feel there was some sort of connection or something going on, but actually being the dragon herself? Wow. Mind-blowing, and so grateful for the amazing cutscenes that came with this. The whole story arc of Ganondorf and fighting him was also very fun, but it's nothing compared to the absolute sobbing story of an ending that is the ending. When Zelda is returned to her Hylian form and Link catches her as they plummet down into the water, I had tears of the kingdom for real. It was so awesome, so emotional, and one of the coolest moments in Zelda history. Now, I'm not done gushing, but I won't spend too long as there are other important things I'd like to talk about. But before that, I need to, and I cannot emphasize this enough, I need to say just how damn amazing the visuals are in this game. Sunsets, sunrises, and walks through the wilderness. This game is beautiful. I honestly love just leaving the game beside me as I edit videos or script write. In fact, I am right now as I write this. It's just such a stunning game, and I never get bored of just exploring Hyrule or stopping somewhere to just sit for a while. So yeah, that's my gushing rant over, even though I could probably go for many more hours. As for what else I want to get out, let's talk about thoughts going forward, both as a creator, but also just as a fan. As a creator, I'm planning to continue making Tears of the Kingdom videos. I know it sort of feels like nobody is, or at least not as regularly as we all probably expected following the release of the game, but I can say I certainly still very much enjoy making my wee weekly video on something I find interesting in the game, whether it's world lore, mysteries, theories, or just a discussion like this. I love this game, I'm passionate for this game, and I don't have plans to slow down making content on it. As long as there's an audience to share with, I'll be here. On that note, I really do appreciate all of the love and support on my videos. Over the past month or so, especially since a lot of creators have shifted away from Tears of the Kingdom content, I do see a lot of comments thanking me for still making dedicated videos on the game, regularly, and I just want to say that they don't go unnoticed. I really appreciate that you're here to watch, it will always mean the world to me. Anywho, before I start crying, yeah, I plan to keep making videos on the game as long as you lovely folks still find it interesting and want to hear me talk about it. I mean, I'll be doing other things too, such as talking about the Zelda movie whenever we learn a little bit more on that. Hopefully some Zelda game news as well, whether that's a port, remake, or whatever the next big project is. I'll be there. As a fan, I'm patiently waiting to hear what's coming next, as that is what currently interests me the most. I want to say the idea of a Twilight Princess HD port interests me most, but I don't want to get too delusional. The next big Zelda game is what I'm currently trying to think about, mainly because it feels certain that they'll move on from this current Kingdom of Hyrule, and that is so intriguing. There's a very good chance it'll also be on Nintendo's next system as well, so that is also very intriguing to look forward to. I'll just be replaying games in the meantime. Man, I really want to start up a new Twilight Princess file, but I'm so delusional that I'm holding out for a Switch port, which has never once actually been hinted at. But yeah, it's just the big waiting game for now, but when the news of the next big Zelda game drops, oh, I'll be there. Some other general thoughts on things right now, mainly regarding that previously mentioned and talked about divide with some fans being extremely unhappy with not getting answers to certain bits of lore, or specific things not lining up with previously stated lore, and all of that fun stuff. The Zelda series has never been clear with answers. Lore has never consistently lined up the way some of you want it to, and I personally feel there are some people who are just way over the top about it, to the point where I've actually seen people tell other people, Zelda fan to Zelda fan, how can they enjoy the game with all of these lore mishaps and lack of answers? Like, bruh, chill. I mean, sure, I wish I knew more about certain pieces of lore and history regarding the game at the best of times, but at the same time, it's literally the fact that we don't know which makes theory, lore, and speculation content so fun to make and discuss. We as a community come together to talk about these things and piece together what we think makes sense when it comes to filling in the gaps and all those mysteries and theories and lore. These games would be so much less exciting if we just knew everything, or if everything was perfectly aligned. I really don't get how people can be like, how can you enjoy this when the lore doesn't correspond? Like, honestly, I don't get it personally. The game is so good, I don't get how that can ruin it for you, but whatever. that's me. That's just me. You might disagree, and that's totally fine if so. I just don't personally think it's a huge deal, nor does it affect how enjoyable the game itself is. We've never gotten all the answers, so I don't get why it's such a big deal now. Alright, wrapping up. I want to say again, this video is entirely my opinion, and it's fine if you don't agree. You do you. I've wanted to talk about these things for a little while now, especially with how many fans and creators seem to be already going away from Tears of the Kingdom content. I also took part in a group discussion, by the way, about the current state of Zelda, which was hosted by the amazing, fabulous, and great person, Kat Bergerson, along with a few other awesome creators. I'll link that below if you'd be so kind to go and give his video some love and listen to all of our thoughts. That'd be cool. So yeah, Zelda is good, I love Zelda games, and still very much enjoy playing this new one, Tears of the Kingdom. That about sums up all of my thoughts at the moment. I hope so, anyway. I might have more in the future. My neurodivergent brain is constantly forgetting and remembering things, so who knows. But I think I got my feelings out on everything going on at the moment. I'd really love to know all of your thoughts. Leave a comment down below, make it short, a few lines, or a whole story if you want. Just speak your mind on how you're feeling about the Legend of Zelda series at the moment, and I'll be reading and replying to as many as possible. A massive shout out goes to my channel supporters for making this all the more possible. The financial backing of my channel is a big part of making these videos a reality, and I really appreciate your guys' generosity. If you'd like to help support my content, then check out my supporting links below. My socials are all linked down there as well if you'd like to respectfully stalk me and see what I'm up to. That's about it for today, you lovely folks. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day or night, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.